The title is Better Sleep for Health. Here's our LifeWave disclaimer. LifeWave products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease or medical condition. We are not medical doctors. This presentation is for educational purposes only. First thing I want to talk about is the importance of sleep. And I know everybody knows a lot about sleep. I learned a lot of new things just by doing this research. So hopefully you will too. The time at night is needed to detoxify your brain. This is the most important part about sleep. All of our body is rejuvenating at night. This is when our body repairs and regenerates cells and organs. 80% of anabolic metabolism occurs during sleep. Anabolic meaning your body is being built back up. This goes right along with the use of the X39 patches. We're using those during the day. Sorry, turn your phone off. It's looking at me. The peptides that are being stimulated, the stem cells that are being renewed during the day are going to do their work at night. That's when the repair and the rebuilding is taking place. Also, this is when we store memories. If you're reading, if you're studying before bed, that's a good thing because then your body can put those memories into the file cabinets, if you will. And also, we make new brain cells at night. I didn't know this. I thought, well, you can make brain cells day or night. But no, this happens when you're sleeping. And I say at night because that's when most people sleep. And that's when, if at all possible, we should all be sleeping. I know some people have night shift work and it's very difficult. It's very hard on the body. But let me go over a little bit of, this is called the Chinese body clock. And I ask my clients if they're having trouble sleeping. I said, are you having trouble falling asleep? Are you waking at a certain time? A lot of people wake up during the night. And especially if you're waking at the same time every night, I say, look at your watch, look at the clock, and check on it. If it's within 10 or 15 minutes of the same time every night, then that part of your body is needing extra work, extra support. Your body is detoxifying during that time. So if you go to bed early, before 11, your triple burner is working to detoxify. That's supporting your whole endocrine system, your metabolism. And this is one good reason to go to bed a little bit earlier. And I've been working on myself that way. I tend to be a night owl and stay up till midnight or 12:30, reading, studying. I read my Bible before bed, and sometimes I get involved and I'm like, oh, that's late. So going to bed before 11 is kind of good in terms of getting your metabolism functioning optimally again. Between 11 and 1 is the gallbladder. Most common waking is between 1 and 3, and that's the liver. I would say that's the most common trouble area for people. This is when you should be having your deepest sleep, your blood is being detoxed, you're having a rest and recovery, and your liver is cleaning itself and repairing. And then between 3 and 5 is lungs, between 5 and 7 is large intestine, and then you're awake usually between 7 and 9. What happens if we don't sleep well? This is kind of crucial. This guy up at the top looks like how I feel sometimes in the morning. But if you don't sleep well, you have increased risk of physical illness. So your immune system, your whole immune system is lowered, and you're more likely to catch something, have trouble detoxifying, that sort of thing. Your heart attack risk is higher, diabetes, certain types of cancer, and high blood pressure. Also weight gain due to hormones that get out of balance, increased hunger, and insulin spikes. That's also related to diabetes. Poor sleeping habits and poor or not enough sleep can affect your emotion and regulation, your moods, and even paranoia. You can have poor focus, poor memory, and that's in acquisition. So putting in new memories as well as retaining old ones, especially for trying to learn new things, memorize things. That's where sleep is really, really crucial. Also ADHD, so attention and focus, that has a lot to do with your good sleep quality. Increased auto accidents. I thought this was really interesting. Obviously, if you're sleep deprived, you have a much higher risk of falling asleep at the wheel. But studies have shown that just not getting enough sleep or having poor sleep quality is like driving drunk. Your reaction time is so much slower. Now, how much sleep do we need? I think a lot of young moms and dads probably realize how much sleep babies need, but sometimes I think kids are not getting enough sleep. For those of you that have young children or grandchildren, this is kind of a nice guide to look at, especially preschoolers, 3 to 5-year-olds. They need 11 to 13 hours of sleep a night. And then even teens, 8.5 to 9.5. I remember when I was in high school, I needed like 10 hours of sleep. It was ridiculous. And then even as adults, we still need 7 to 9 hours. It's important to regulate our circadian rhythm with the cycles of nature and keep our daily sleep-wake cycle regular. In other words, going to bed and getting up at the same time. A lot of people will just sleep in on the weekend, stay up late, and then sleep in and think they're catching up. But it doesn't do good for you, your whole body. It doesn't help in the long run. So deep sleep is where your body makes the repairs. Then you have tissue regrowth, including bones. So if you have broken bones, injured muscles, a repair of those things, this is what is repaired during deep sleep. Your immune system, your brain detoxifies, and the hormones are released. Optimal goal is it's 1.75 hours to 2 hours of deep sleep. That's what you really want. And then REM sleep, which is the rapid eye movement, optimal is 1.5 hours. This is where your memories are consolidated, you're dreaming. This is where you get your creativity. I have lots of times where I'll wake up and I remember a dream and I'm like, oh, that's a good idea. Maybe I should implement that, or, change the way I'm doing things. It's also how you process emotions. And I think this is really connected to the idea that we can have emotional stress and perhaps mood issues because we're not processing those emotions at night the way we're supposed to. And this also energizes your mind. 1.5 hours or 25% of your night's sleep, 20 to 25% is optimal for REM sleep. This is just something I had showed Sandra about this, I don't know, 6 months ago. It's a ring that you can wear that monitors your sleep. I got it myself probably a year ago because I was showing some signs of sleep apnea, and I had it checked and they said, oh, you're borderline. I thought, well, I need to monitor this long term. But the cool thing about it is it does show your total sleep time, your efficiency, restfulness, REM, deep sleep. Latency is how long it takes you to fall asleep. And you don't want that to be super long, but if it's shorter, like this was 6 minutes here, if it's shorter than like 3 minutes, then you're overtired. So you get a lot of information. This is the graph of the night. It doesn't show that I was up and walking around or going to the bathroom or anything that night. 1.5 hours of REM, only had 1 hour and 15 minutes of deep sleep. So I need to work on that part. And what I've learned in preparing this presentation is going to help with that as well. If you want more information on the Oura Ring, we can talk about that later. This is something I've implemented. I was wearing blue blocker glasses before, but they were only blocking like 20% of the blue light. And then my friend pointed out to me, she goes, you're on your phone all day long without any glasses. I said, you're right. I should be doing. So I just got these. They're real orange, as you can see, just like the ones in the picture. And they block like 99% of the blue light. So if I know I'm going to be on my computer or on my phone a lot, I do keep these on. I'm going to have to get some of those granny bead things that hang down so I can let them hang around my neck when I don't need them. Anyway, these are some other tricks and tips that will help with having optimal sleep. Getting some kind of daily activity. This doesn't mean you have to be a gym rat, but just walking, going outside, whatever. I know some of you are in the cold, so you might not want to do that, but there's so many ways to get activity. I don't need to tell you about that, but that does help us sleep better. Getting natural light early in the day. This helps to reset our circadian rhythm through our pineal gland. And at nighttime, making sure your room is dark and cool and quiet. Obviously, quiet is important. I am a very light sleeper. I sleep with earplugs in because if the dog whines or scratches or anything, boom, I'm awake. So I sleep with earplugs. I got it quiet. If I'm traveling, like my husband laughs at me because the little light on the smoke detector in the hotel room or the light on the front of the TV, I'm like, put something in front of that, put a piece of tape on it. I have to have it really dark. So it is good because then you don't have any blue, especially blue light, affecting your melatonin and your sleep. And then cool, I don't remember exactly what the optimal temperature, 70-ish, 65 to 70, something like that. Also, you want to avoid stress before bed. This is really something else. This was not even part of my research on this, but it was it was a doctor speaking about how we use up a certain amount of our energy, and he called it ego, during the day. And you know how sometimes you get to 6 or 7 o'clock and you're like, I just need to chill, I need to have my glass of wine or whatever you guys are having. And I can't deal with any more people, right? At least for me, I know when I do these health fairs or expos and I've got people coming at me all day long, I get to a certain point and I'm like, no more. Well, actually, if you have somebody that calls you, of course, you're going to take a call from your family, close friend, they got an emergency. What happens is if that happens to you in the evening or before bed, your body actually removes memories to make room for that. And I'm like, whoa, I think that's what happened to me. That's why I can't remember things from childhood. I let myself, I guess setting boundaries in the evening is really important, is what bottom line with this. But I thought that was very interesting. So you make sure your cell phone is off, not just, on airplane mode or whatever, but it's still Wi-Fi, it's still radiating you, or at least 10 feet away if you have to use it for your alarm in the morning. And then your Wi-Fi, set your Wi-Fi to go off maybe an hour before bed or half an hour at least. And then it can be done through the computer. You don't have to physically turn it off. But if that's the only way you can do it, unplug it for the nighttime. It's really makes a huge difference in the quality of your sleep to not have those electromagnetic fields affecting you all night long. And then, of course, the blue blocker glasses during the day. Something else was having warm feet. This, actually, I learned that from David Schmidt in one of his presentations. And I know if my feet are cold, I can't sleep. And but you can put your feet in warm water before bed. If you tend to have cold feet, warm them up. They say that it improves the quality of your sleep and you sleep 30 minutes longer. I thought this was a cool quote. Sleep is an essential part of life, but more important, sleep is a gift. It's a gift that we need to nurture and treasure and be grateful for. There are certain things that you can avoid that will improve your sleep quality. Of course, caffeine. I can't drink caffeine after noon or I don't sleep well. I'm just restless at night. And so a lot of people say, I can drink right before bed, but it may be affecting the quality of your sleep, even if you're not aware of it. Excessive alcohol can make you sleepy initially, but then it can make you restless through the night. So limit the amount of alcohol you drink before bed. Naps, actually, they can be rejuvenating if you're really tired and you've pulled a late night a couple nights. But on a regular basis, naps are not good because it does affect your cycles and your rhythm of sleep. And then, of course, heavy meals. You should be done your dinner within at least 3 hours before you go to bed. And then the blue light, don't forget about the blue light on your phone and your television, not just your computer. This was kind of interesting. There's a lot of different positions people like to sleep in. There's good and bad about all of them. Sleeping on your back is good for your neck and your spine because everything's lined up. You want to support under your knees, but it's worse if you're a snorer and you want to use a smaller pillow so that you don't have your head forward, but it's more of a neutral position. Sleeping on your left opens up your liver. So if you have liver troubles, sleeping more on your left side is a good thing because it doesn't put pressure on your liver. You want to support your neck in a neutral position. Use a knee pillow so your spine stays in alignment, and this does help with snoring. Also, the right side is more optimal for your heart because your heart's on the left side. It opens up that part. Think about when you're laying on your side, your organs kind of get compressed onto the downward side. Same thing, support your neck, use a knee or body pillow, and that also helps with snoring. Let's talk a little bit about melatonin. This is the hormone that your body produces to help you sleep. And you're going to find out that it does a lot more than that. But it's produced by your pineal gland, which is right here. It's actually inside your brain. And it naturally decreases with age. So if you think about the support we're getting from the X39 in its reversal of aging, this is going to help in the major term as well, supporting the pineal gland. This supports healthy sleep and your circadian rhythm. Blue light inhibits the production of the melatonin. That's why we have to wear the glasses. It's not a good idea to supplement melatonin long term. The best way or reason to use it would be for jet lag, small amounts. Because it's a hormone, if you supplement it all the time, and a lot of people swear by, I take it every night. Well, your body forgets how to make it. If you take a hormone every day, it's the same way with vitamin D and estrogen, progesterone, all these others. It's better to take a precursor or stimulate your body to make more. And that's what we're going to talk about in terms of the LifeWave. You want to be able to raise your levels naturally versus just taking a pill, okay? That way you don't become accustomed to it. There are no side effects by having your body make more, and no drug interactions, because some people that are on certain medications cannot take melatonin. It's contraindicated. There are foods that will naturally raise our melatonin or contain melatonin themselves. Tart cherry juice is one, and I like to drink that before bed. Goji berries, which is an Asian berry that's very high in protein. Eggs, milk, fish, and nuts. Of course, we've heard about drinking warm milk before bed for the amino acids in that precursors for melatonin as well. This I found very interesting. I was just doing a PubMed search on melatonin because I've heard about people using melatonin to treat certain things, let's just say. But I'm going to speak about it in terms of if our melatonin is low, if we've suppressed it because of bad habits, or it's just not optimal because we're aging, then what kind of physical results could we see other than poor sleep? It's kind of a vicious cycle too. When you think about something like osteoarthritis is what they're claiming that could be a treatment for. Well, are you getting arthritis because you're not making the melatonin that you used to be? Is this a part of why we experience certain degenerative disorders? Just a question. One. Melatonin has a place in preventing cancer in the body. So if our body's not making enough melatonin, is this part of the reason that we're more likely to have cancer that our body cannot correct as we age? Just a question. Autism also, they're using it to treat certain children that are on the spectrum. And think about that because the melatonin and good sleep supports our ability to focus. So my question is there a relationship between the loss of melatonin that we experience with aging and the increase in certain issues? Autism would be different because it's not related to aging, but perhaps there's a connection. Just throwing those ideas out there. Of course, we all know about our patches called Silent Nights. It's a single patch, and this works by increasing melatonin naturally. The 2 studies they did, the pilot study, it was only 5 people, but 2 out of the 5 had a 300% increase in their melatonin within 1 week. That's pretty cool. I don't know what the other 3 experienced, but the double-blind placebo study, which was 50 people, they had a 66% average increase. So I thought that was pretty good. If we're eating good foods and blocking the ways that we would be working against our own body in terms of melatonin production and using something like this, I think the results are going to be amazing. Something else you may not have thought about is our dream spray. And this is marketed as an aromatherapy. It's in that category because it contains essential oils. It also contains herbs. The structured water that's part of this is really crucial into how it works. But the interesting thing is the dream doesn't work by increasing your melatonin. It increases oxytocin, which is another hormone that's responsible for bonding between mother and baby. It lowers your stress, helps you relax and become ready for sleep. And then the mucuna pruriens, which is it's called velvet bean. He's got that extract in there. That also helps with the feel-good hormones, brain production of dopamine. And the way you use this is 10 minutes before you're ready to go to sleep. You spray it on your wrist, and then you breathe it in. I believe he says 7 to 8 times, and it smells very nice. And then it helps your mind relax as you get ready for sleep. Now, I didn't realize that we can use other patches for sleep as well. The aloe vera in particular also does help with melatonin production. And who doesn't want less wrinkles? That's most people use it for that, right? And you put it right here, the governing vessel, 24.5, right, in the middle of the forehead, just above and between your eyebrows. And this is releasing a peptide in the brain that raises your melatonin. It also obviously works on anti-aging and life extension. You would wear that at night because who wants to walk around with a patch in the middle of your forehead during the day? My husband likes to make fun of it even when I wear it at night. He says, push to start. So the other patches that I didn't really think about that are really good with this Silent Night patch are Aeon and Carnosine. And I'll get to Energy Enhancer in a minute, but the Carnosine you can use on the opposite side of the body with this Silent Night. Aeon also, because it's lowering inflammation, it just helps our sleep quality. It is helping with pain as well. And the Energy Enhancer, some people are using it, you switch it. Instead of white on right, you put the tan on the right and the white on the left and use it below the ankle bone. I haven't personally tried that, but it is in the book, the light book. You know what I'm talking about with the protocols. So here's some combinations specifically for a busy mind. When you're thinking through things before bed, you have the Silent Nights to use on conception vessel 14 right here. It's like your xiphoid process right there below your breastbone. And then the Carnosine goes on conception vessel, which is, you have the one spot here that we use for, it's 22, it's right here, that we use for the glutathione in particular. And so this one is just right below that. And also you could use it on the head in the same places we were talking. And any of the recommended points for Silent Night that you would use on the right side of the body, you can use the carnosine in the corresponding point on the left. This is one of the recommended spots, which is kidney 1 on the bottom of the feet. Good sleep is worth the effort. This is such an important part of our life. I mean, it should be 7 to 9 hours, as we said. That's a third of your whole 24-hour period. And so by making these positive lifestyle choices and support from our LifeWave products, you can improve your quality of life through your basic improving your quality of your sleep. Thanks for your attention and sweet dreams, everybody.